Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your bedroom turnoffs? Fantasies and fetishes. Financial infidelity. I'm dating a fat person. Are they worth the wait? Trust me, this is gonna be crazy.
How about the heavy stuff?
The child wasn't his, and he still had to pay child support.
It's a very heated topic.
How was that right?
Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I just like to kiss a woman's ass. Is there something wrong with that?
Damn.
He had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed.
Hit you with the bad pipes routine.
How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches my neck.
Why can't you open up, brother?
I'm a karate man. Karate man rules on the inside. They don't show their weaknesses.
Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
Yeah. Hey, man, I'm excited about today's topic. And I love the beat. I love the fact that the beat is slapping. Let it slap a little bit. Let's go. Ah, yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, if this is your very first time tuning in to the voice of reason, this is what we do. The Voice of Reason is broadcast live 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Somebody's phone is on, or is it mine? Could be mine, and it is mine. Right? I be messing up all the time. The Voice of Reason is broadcast live 3 times a week, okay? Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5 to 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 8 to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 7 to 9 Central Time. And it is evolving into a fluid, non-judgmental roundtable where women can come in and speak on it without judgment.
Yeah.
You underdig? Real topics that cover real issues. We try to provide some real answers along with a little, you know what I'm saying, funny shit, jokey smurf type shit. No, we listen, I really appreciate the fact that the ladies, because they busy, they work, fly shit, but they make time to come in here and participate. Wait, let's change the mood. Oh, yeah. The ladies come in here. They're ready for war. But you couldn't tell how they smell. Oh, yeah. They come in looking all delicious and whatnot. Ready to get down and tackle the topic. We got a fire topic today.
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
We got a fire topic today. Listen, you already know, as is commonplace, what I do on the show. I got to shout out a couple of businesses. I got to shout out my homegirl, Wanda Trotter from mindblowingmobiles.com. She's the young lady who did my app. When I tell you my app is fly as hell,
Yes, it is.
my app is so ice cold. Shit, I got music playing on my app. You can buy my books. You can buy coaching. You can watch the show. I got everything cracking on that damn thing. You understand? Mind-blowing mobiles. Listen, if you're a small business and you need a cellular store, because that's what it is. The app has replaced the website. People still go to your websites now. Don't get it twisted. But everybody is always on their phone. The phone is a store. The phone is Walmart. You understand? And I'm going to tell you right now, Mind-Blowing Mobiles will do an amazing app for you. Reach out to her, Wanda Trotter, Mind-Blowing Mobiles. Also, don't sleep on Total Package Energy.
Right, and you won't sleep. If you
I
take it.
dust off 2 of these a day. I have to. Because I got so much stuff to do, and I need to be mentally alert at all times. You understand? I love this stuff. The only stuff that worked for me, it works better than 5-Hour Energy, Red Bull. It worked better than all that. Monster, all that. Get it if you're a driver, truck driver, you need Total Package Energy. Go get 2.5 cases right now at TotalPackageEnergy.com. Tell them Zoe Williams sent you, and they're going to take good care of you. May even give you a few extras. Total Package Energy. Also,
or if you're an athlete, you know. Or it's finals time if you're in college, if you're a student.
How about
finals? Hey.
Yeah.
And on my feet, I got them red pythons. Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you clowning.
Y'all can't even see these, though.
Right. Like the camera ain't even over there.
Y'all can't see them, but you can see them on the website. AndroidHome.com. Android like the phone. Home, HOMME.com. Luxury sneaker brand. If you go there right now and support them, all you got to do is type in Zoe Williams. And you're going to get 25% off of all of their products. Go support them. Look for their radio show here pretty soon. Sneaker Politics. That's just going to be fly as hell. Zoe is over here working like a Hebrew slave. Out here grinding.
That's right. He getting it.
You understand? Angry Smurf is gone for the rest of the year. She went back home to the DMV, but she will return. Also, I'm tired of saying it. I got 30 copies left. It's more than 30 people in here right now.
Right?
Right.
Let's do it incrementally. I want to sell 10 copies of this book in 10 minutes.
10 copies, 10 minutes. Let's do it.
That's right. Let's
Come
do
on,
it, y'all.
Let's do it. Let's see how down y'all are with the Voice of Reason, Zoe What Show, Zoe Williams movement. Can we get 10 of these sold in the next 10 minutes? All you got to do is go to IamZoeWilliams.com. Order the book right now. If you order it today, I mail it out tomorrow. You understand? Go support the movement right now. It's more than 10 people in this chat room right now.
That's right.
Right. And if not for you, you know, for a gift.
Make it a Christmas
Tis
gift.
the season.
You understand?
Right.
Let's do it. I'm asking for 10. We got 30 left. And it's way more than 30 people in here right now. But I'm asking for 10 people to get down. Let me just say this real quick. And all the people who are hitting me on the super chat, nothing but love. Anybody who hits on the super chat, I'm going to shout you out. Soul of Beauty just donated $10 to our super chat. If you don't know what super chat is, let me tell you, it's a function of YouTube because we're broadcasting live through my YouTube channel, which has 31,000 subscribers.
That's right.
And people are still coming into the show right now because they're getting notifications saying that the Zoe What or the Voice of Reason show is live.
Yay.
And so we got people donating. Soul of Beauty just dropped $10. And she says, her message was, make sure y'all support tonight. Everything counts. That's what she said.
Yes, it does.
And then Drew Mackey just dropped $20 representing the Bay Area. Yay, area!
Yay, area!
He said, your shows got me through college. You've been my mentor the whole journey. Man,
That's right.
damn,
That's what's up.
brother.
That's what's up.
I appreciate that. So let's all get busy. Let's all support all of the businesses. And now, let's move to today's topic. Let's change the track. Today's topic. Oh my God. Today's topic. Oh my goodness. I don't know if the ladies are quite ready.
Well, you know I stay ready on this topic.
Well, you actually created this topic.
I mean, a long time ago.
No. You've been building this topic into a monster over several shows.
True.
Yes.
Listen, it's a caller-driven show. Get to your phone lines right now. The number to dial, we want to hear about it. 323-230-4610. Tonight's topic, stir crazy. How to date stir crazy, a.k.a. quality crazy.
Quality crazy.
A riveting look at mental illness and intimate relationships.
Yes.
God. I've got questions. Can I rattle off a few, ladies?
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
What's the difference between a really complicated person and a mentally ill relationship partner? Is there a difference? Is it a fine line? Gosh.
The difference.
Wow, this is going to be crazy. True or false? Dating anyone is a challenge. Relationships aren't easy, and they take a lot of work. We all know this, but there is a particular kind of challenge involved when dating someone with anxiety. God damn it, Bobby. True or false? For people suffering from anxiety, relaxing feels like a waste of time. Just the act of trying to relax. Being lazy wastes valuable hours, and that could be devoted to creating and working. You know, anxious people. Listen, I was talking to a young lady the other day. She said she had a mental breakdown last night and was crying in her father's arms. And she hadn't done that in years. And when I started to probe and ask why, it was about all future projections.
Wow.
I want to, I want to be able to make money, and I want to be able to take care of my son. I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to do. Let me tell you something else. I was with the homeboy, Michael Collier. You guys hip to Michael Collier?
Oh,
Comedian
yeah.
Michael Collier?
Oh, yeah.
I was at his Christmas party over the weekend. Let me just say, that brother got a beautiful spirit.
Great person.
But let me tell you, before I met Michael, I knew his daughter. All right, grab that, Darren. I knew his daughter. And this was many, 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 many years ago. She was in high school, and I was in high school. I think she's a little older than me. But I saw her at the Christmas party for the first time in many, many years. And let me tell you how the universe works. She's going through whatever she's going through. Talented, beautiful sister. Y'all saw her in the Sister Act movie with Lauryn Hill.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
Yep.
She was one of the beautiful sisters in that movie that was singing, and she was with Lauryn Hill in that movie. Gorgeous sister, right? Let me just say. Her daughter told her, because whatever she's going through is deep, right? Her daughter was like, don't you know Zoe?
That's right. That's right.
Her youngest, her oldest is 24. She's like, don't you know Zoe? Just call Zoe
That's right.
and holla at Zoe. I said, from the mouth of babes, I guess. So I get to the spot, and she's there, and she's like, God dang, you here? My daughter just spoke on you.
Wow.
So, one of them conversations, we both got 2 full plates of food and ain't eating shit.
Talking.
Because we talking. And I'm walking her through her progressions.
That's right.
And she was like, I'm not going to cry. She wind up crying. But when we get to the crux of her issue, it's guilt because she felt like she hasn't accomplished enough or she hasn't accomplished what she set out for. This could be a type of mental illness because you can get locked into these expectations and you can get locked into what you think you should have been doing. And next thing you know, you wake up and it's 15, 20 years later.
Right. You got that right.
Right? So I was like, man, and that shit could develop into depression if you ain't. And depression is a cold situation.
Man, once you fall in that, man, take a minute to snap up out of it.
Or at all.
Right,
Because
if
you know,
you can.
they will give you some medicine now.
Right.
And that'll change your whole brain chemistry.
Right.
You're going to need that shit forever.
Right. Ain't nobody got time for that.
God damn. But I'm going to tell you, man, these topics are important. And ladies, y'all always say y'all date crazy. I want to know why y'all attract crazy. And I want to know how y'all maintain crazy until the shit just falls apart and then you blame crazy. How you go from maintaining crazy to blaming crazy? You knew the nigga was crazy.
Right, right. You saw the signs.
Another form. I love Vonda. She was talking about how anger is a part of PTSD.
Yes.
Jeez.
It's a symptom.
It's a symptom of it, right? This is crazy, man. How many out there dating crazy people? Tonight's your night to call in and vent. True or false? When dating someone who suffers from anxiety, it's essential that you know when your partner's freaking out and needs to be left alone.
Right.
And when he or she needs to be held and comforted. You got to know the difference between those two states.
Yes.
Are you dating quality crazy? Call me right now, 323-230-4610. I got one more question. Is attention deprivation the easiest way to deal with difficult/crazy people? I'm going to deprive you of my attention, nigga.
Right.
Because sometimes, listen, I'm a true believer of this, and somebody can, correct me here.
I will.
Right? I'm a true believer in I'm only helping you if you're willing to do the work.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah. You can only help if they want it.
The moment I see you not willing, I'm not fucking with you crazy.
No, me neither. I don't have
That's
time.
just me. But if I see that there is an honest effort to say, you know what, I know I got an issue and I want to try to fix it. And I'm going to say even the helpers are crazy.
Well, so that's part of the conversations, though. I think we'll get there eventually, but that's the number one side effect of dealing with an actual person. So first, there's a difference between someone, like we use crazy way too loosely. The difference between just like an emotionally unstable person or a difficult person and actually clinically mentally ill person.
And we'll get
different.
there. Yep.
Yeah, but like one of the number one side effects of being in a relationship with a person with mental illness is also then having mental illness or acquiring it yourself.
Well, we heard that from the sister and from the last show. Is the asshole / jerk or pushover, are these kind of people crazy too? Like just an asshole, a narcissist. That's a type of crazy.
Right.
Narcissism.
Narcissism is a personality disorder.
Yeah, that's to me, a disorder is a type of crazy.
Absolutely. I dated somebody like that. Man.
God damn.
Jesus.
Do you have to be in a constant state of tolerance with difficult / crazy folk?
Yes.
Just fuck. He's just going through one of his moods. It'll be over in a little bit.
Right.
Gosh. It's about to be crazy, ladies and gentlemen. How to date quality crazy. What is quality crazy, Tiff?
Oh, when I say quality crazy, I'm not referring to mental illness at all. So I feel like when I saw the title, I was like, we'll deal with it when we get there.
Well, I'm asking you, what's your definition of quality crazy?
For me, quality crazy is just we use crazy so loosely that men, especially in describing women, use it just to explain the fact that we are, roller coaster of emotional displays. And so they use crazy just loosely to be like, oh, you're emotional versus actually talking about mental illness. And that's why it's so hard to have these conversations specifically in the Black community because we use crazy so damn loosely.
Okay, Tiff. I have to challenge you on the imbalance of your statement. Okay?
I expect
You're
it.
100% correct, but half correct because you told half the story.
Right.
Women also call men crazy.
That's right.
Especially as it pertains to anger and not being controlled by them.
Absolutely. Again, in general, as a society, we have become very comfortable with using the term crazy very loosely. And that's why usually when you're in a mental health profession, especially in a professional setting, like if you're in a clinical setting and you do therapy or you're in an office or a nonprofit, we agree as professionals that we actually don't even use the word crazy. It's not even like professionally appropriate.
So this is what we were saying earlier. Yeah. Remember when I said, is crazy a bad word like bitch or nigga? Sometimes I think the mental professionals be overthinking shit too. Mm-hmm. It's okay. Big Mama knew what crazy was. And she told us all, see that nigga right there?
That nigga crazy.
That nigga crazy.
Right. Watch out for them.
Watch out for that nigga over there. Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes, like I said, like if you get into the gender shit, like back in the day, that was labeled crazy. Especially with all the tiers of definitions now. So just because you label it something doesn't stop it from being what it is in nature.
Oh, no.
Absolutely.
Labels are necessary to help you define something, but the reason why, especially in the environments that I've worked in, why we choose not to use crazy, again, is because it's been so loosely used, so it doesn't actually help us define anything anymore.
Right.
So when we're in a professional setting, we rather use like clinical terms or, culturally appropriate terms to actually define what we're talking about.
So
Are we talking about anxiety or depression or PTSD or whatever?
Let me set it up for you. What are the words that you use? You use the name of the symptom. You have this.
No, that's the diagnosis, the name of the diagnosis. Symptoms are a ton of other things.
So what do you guys call it if you don't call it crazy?
Right, we would just name the actual diagnosis or what diagnosis it looks like that's presenting.
Yeah. So you have bipolar or you have what?
Yeah, we would say, the client presents with.
Presents with. Yeah,
because we don't want to define a person by their mental illness either. So we're not going to be like, oh, yeah, the schizophrenic. That's highly disrespectful because you're not just defined by your mental illness.
Gosh, schizophrenic is schizophrenic, though.
That's
a fractured mentality.
It's a very difficult, disability to live with. Like, it's a huge disorder. It will impact your entire life.
But I think crazy is normal in America. Mimi?
Yeah. A lot of people are crazy. They just don't want to admit to it. Everybody thinks what they're doing is right, and everyone makes excuses for what they do, and some of the shit they doing is crazy.
A lot of the shit they doing crazy.
Yeah, they make up excuses.
Racism is crazy.
Right.
Truth.
You know, starving motherfuckers is crazy.
Right. That's right.
You know, the richest country in the world with all these motherfucking poor people and homeless it's a lot of crazy shit happening. And in order to be, like, we have divergent narratives happening at the same time.
Right.
In order to be a superstar athlete, there has to be a certain level of insanity involved. Because you have to have like a one-track mind in terms of your focus. And a lot of times, your people around you suffer because you're not connected to them because you're more connected to whatever your purpose is, your goal.
Right, absolutely.
And then if you take that same drive and you put it in corporate America, that fucking documentary that broke down how a corporation operates and behaves like a psychopath.
Oh, no, most CEOs, highly successful CEOs, are actually a sociopath. They lack empathy. And that's the best way to operate in business is to not have empathy or care for the emotions of the person you're doing business with.
So how can that not trickle down in a capitalist society and contaminate our relationships?
Oh, it has.
I agree. That contaminates a lot of relationships because the person, especially at work, let's just say, they can't even be free with the other employees because they're not thinking, hey, I might have to fire your ass later on. So, no, I don't want to go to happy hour with you because that actually poses a new issue. You befriend someone and you later have to fire them because of either lack of them doing their job or maybe some crazy activity that they've done. And because you befriended them, it makes it difficult, I think, in the workforce. So I think a lot of times they put up shells so that you can't get past certain walls so that they won't have to deal with that emotion.
Wow. Tiffany?
Well, the issue with specifically capitalistic society is basically pretty sociopathic, which is you lack empathy and make decisions based on self. Whether, you know, a lot of people are used to hearing sociopath and psychopath to describe violent like serial killers, but there's like non-violent sociopaths, which are CEOs, people that are able to make huge decisions that affect people without considering their feelings. And so how that affects society is a huge part of society is actually lacks empathy. And that's why a lot of school programs have implemented like things like PBIS and different like strategic school-wide behavior programs that actually strategically teach from like K up to 12 empathy. Like we have actually had to start strategically teaching our children empathy because our society as a capitalistic society has lacked that.
And what's crazy is you just illustrated something so perfect for me right now. Do we not live in an age where feelings aren't valued?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
we
man.
live in the
yes.
fuck your feelings age.
Man.
Yes.
What we used to do in a different generation, which was considered consideration, which was considered respect and, you know, empathy and empathizing, a lot of that shit is for the birds for these generation.
Absolutely.
So we live in a highly narcissistic society, which is to me a mental illness.
Yep.
Oh my God, how do you date quality crazy, my niggas? The phone lines are open, 323-230-4610. Here we go. Caller. You're on the line. What's your name and where you calling from? Welcome to the Voice of Reason. Speak on it. Caller. Boost Mobile. Caller, you're on the line. What's your name and where you calling from? Speak on it.
Yeah, my name is Nelson. I'm from Richmond, Virginia.
Nelson from Richmond, Virginia. Stand up.
Nelson.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good evening. Merry Christmas to everybody and whatnot. Yo, I seen the topic. I said, look, I gotta call in. When it was talking about the dating, you know, what's up to Tiff and Mimi, and if there's any other ladies there, hey, or whatever, to everybody. I saw the topic is talking about dating, and I was like, and my friends look at me like I'm a fucking Martian when I say, look, women want to be equal when it comes to, like, for example, like when I was in school, after college, I had women in class with me. And, you know, the last person to tell me turn my head and cough was a woman. And I was cool with that. I just want you to know your shit. But my thing is, why is it when it comes to dating, now she can be a bus driver or astronaut, but when it comes to dating, her purse broke, her account is frozen. And I'm just like, but yet you say you're my equal, but when it comes to dating, now it's on me to pay. Now, don't get me wrong. From what I've been told, the gender wage gap right now is like if a dude make $100,000, the chick makes $77,000. But back in the day, say the 50s, 53, something like that, a dude might gross revenue $7,000, which ain't a lot, but that was the norm for then. But the woman, if she's working at all, might make $1,000. So you goddamn right, he should foot the bill for all recreational outings because courting back then had utility. There was a reason. It wasn't just cause. It was because the dude made way more than her. 7 times even, if not more than that, if she worked at all. But now...
You saying the gap is closer.
The gap is it's about the difference of a Honda fucking Accord. I mean, and what I mean by that is, okay, look, because I've been through this. I took a girl out on a date several times and gotten a hug at the end of every date. Like her parents, like we was at a damn middle school dance. Her parents was picking her up. You see what I'm saying? And what I don't like is how expectations and judgments are made about me and on me based on how much I spend. But I cannot expect nothing. I'm supposed to be on board with that?
Hey, so, let me tell you something, buddy. Your job is to provide.
Right.
I've heard that. You sound like Steve Harvey. Now, because he's big on that.
Right. But let me just cut in right now.
Yes, sir. Please.
To me, it's a type of insanity, a form of insanity, to have strong, concretized beliefs without context of where you live. So you notice how when you talk to older people, they speak from their generation. To me, that's a type of insanity. if you can't speak from the current generation, nigga, your whole mouth is outdated.
Right.
You shouldn't even be talking.
Right.
So I understand what you're saying, brother. When you look at the numbers, when you look at the data wrapped around money, wealth, the wealth gap, and all that shit, this is why I say sisters sometimes and brothers are living like in this space of cognitive dissonance. Like, sisters are Renaissance women right now with more resources than they've ever had. Do they have more resources than men in general? No. But the gap is getting smaller.
Right.
Where the gap is getting wider is between the races. Wealth and the races. That's where the gap is getting wider. So to have the same beliefs from the 50s. See, Steve was born in the 50s or the 40s or some shit. He's 60.
I believe the 50s.
He was born in the 50s. So to come and say, a man's supposed to provide. Wait, hold on. Can we look at the data, nigga?
Right.
Where we live today?
Right.
Like today.
Right.
What does today's data say? And I'm not, no disrespect to Steve. I'm just saying, upgrade your thought process.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? Now, he may hit back and say, or, he doesn't bark. He said something about the moon doesn't bark at a dog. I'm the dog right now. I'm nowhere near as big as Steve Harvey, so he won't respond to me. But him, but the retort might be, change your mindset and up-level your mindset. But to me, you can't have an elevated mindset with outdated social game rules.
Right.
Right.
Right? And
So can I step in and say one thing? Please?
Sure, this is your
I know
call.
it's your show, and I ain't trying to run your show. It's your show, and I respect that.
It's too late, nigga. It's too late. You've
It's hilarious.
You in here, okay?
Go ahead, bro.
All right. What my thing is, I always say that men and women, black, white, paisley, it don't matter. We should be dating Dutch from date number one. And why? Because if we go Dutch on date number one, guess what? If she decided to give me some draws after date 1 or date 81, it ain't based on finances. No, she fucks with me.
No.
You see what I'm
Listen,
saying? Because if she-
hey. This is where you're getting it wrong, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't fuck with you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? All right? I need you to understand this. And ladies, you guys could check me on this. You are like seasoning salt, my nigga. But the meal is what you can provide. The you of it is seasoning. Gravy. Nigga, hush puppies. Coleslaw, my nigga.
Coleslaw.
Potato salad. You ain't the meal. Your provision.
those are sides.
Yes, your provisions that's the meal.
Well, can I add something?
And that's
to
the
those,
way we're
though?
socialized. Go ahead.
He's proposing that we go Dutch from the beginning, which I'm not necessarily against.
Yeah, you are.
To
You're about to diss it right now. We're waiting.
No. I've actually gone Dutch many times, so I'm not against that at all. But the issue with that is, he said, okay, if we go Dutch and then we end with sex at the end of the night, then we both know like that's just because we like each other, and that's where he is getting the societal norms all fucked up. Because still, that's assuming that if we both have sex, the man and the woman's stock in the game is equal after we have sex, which is not equal. When a man has sex with a woman, his stock goes up. It doesn't matter how many partners he has. But if my stock goes down every number I add to the list. So that's where going Dutch doesn't necessarily do us equal.
Wait.
Based on societal norms.
I would say that is a half truth. Because your stock going up or down after you've engaged in consensual sex with anybody is predicated on what you think and feel about yourself.
To a point, true.
Right.
But society has taught us that women are, if we're promiscuous, are less. Now, again, I don't give a fuck about that personally. We all know that. But the societal norm for men and women having sex really hasn't caught up to being equal. So that's why the dating game still hasn't caught up to being equal and us all going Dutch.
But that's what I'm saying. When we're talking about the dating game, when we're talking about the actual game, what we're actually talking about are game rules, i.e. ideas.
Right.
And a woman can easily be like, fuck your idea, nigga.
All right.
Especially today.
Right.
More so today than ever. Thanks, caller. I appreciate it.
We do appreciate you.
All right, y'all take it like.
And I can see if this was I Love Lucy days, then what you just said has way more merit. Because this is this is Ricky Ricardo going, oh God, I married a whore. Now that means something. Today, there's slut walks, for Christ's sake.
Right.
There's fucking millionaires coming off of sex tapes.
Right.
So, do you understand what I'm saying? Like,
No, I hear you and I agree again. But even our chat room, we see it every single time we have this conversation. They be like, yeah, I don't want a girl who has more than 10 dudes or 5 dicks. And I'm like, well, then I guess you're not getting a female. Like, because the standard's still there.
Go deeper.
Like, as much as men don't say it out loud necessarily because they know it's a little more taboo nowadays, men really still would prefer their girl have less partners.
Let me
that's
ask
where,
you
like,
this.
dating is just not, I feel like it's still not equivalent. And that's why we have this disconnect.
Let me ask you both this. Society and the pressures living in society can create a kind of mental illness, correct?
Yes.
Or some form or some symptom, right? Would you say lying? Because in America, there's a lot of lying going on so we can look like we have what we don't have.
Right.
And that's on the material side. But then there's an ideological side where I see women having to cope with their own sexuality in an unhealthy kind of way. Like, damn, I done had too many dicks. Right? That might be a conversation.
Right.
And then that might lead to low self-esteem and low self-worth because you're, I guess, putting yourself up against the social standard, right? But if that's the case, this is why I say you could always go back and say, did I write this shit? Am I the author of the belief I'm trying to live up to? And if the fuck not, you can always say, fuck that belief.
Right.
And fuck this society too, if you wanted to. But humans have the natural urge to be a part of some shit, even if it's broken, right?
Well, yeah, we're communal human beings. We're communally like wired literally from like our neurons. Our neurons are communal. They like to gather like at a atomic level. We're communal. And so you want to be a part of something. And that's basically the structure of mental illness. How we define it is societal norms. Like we just had the new Diagnostic Statistic Manual number 5, the new edition. And basically that's a group of people coming together and redefine and make the actual symptoms and characterize what these specific illnesses look like. So yeah, it's all societally characterized.
Call me right now, ladies and gentlemen, if you're in a relationship with someone who suffers from bipolar. What is it called?
Bipolar disorder?
Bipolar disorder. Can you be in a relationship with somebody who suffers from ADHD? Is ADHD even real?
ADHD is very real, but because they changed the definition, a lot of people struggle with talking about it. So there used to be a difference between ADD and ADHD, and now they're basically just the same thing. You just have a different like emphasis. So one is, it's attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. And you can have one where you just have attention issues and then one where you also have hyperactivity. So that's where people struggle. Like, they'll be like, I have ADD. I'm like, well, technically that doesn't exist anymore. We don't use that term anymore, but I get what you're saying.
But let me ask you this. Yeah. Can a sick society diagnose its own illnesses?
Yeah, again, diagnoses are just definitions to lump together certain characteristics.
I don't believe that.
So it's just language to define certain sets of characteristics. That's why we stopped trying to define people with that, because again, this diagnosis is just a vocabulary word to define these lumps of characteristics.
Right. I don't really believe in it, because when we did the research on psychiatry and the birth of it, it's a pseudoscience.
Oh, absolutely. Again, it's just terms to define characteristics, and a lot of them overlap, so it's very murky, which is why I don't do it.
What these motherfuckers, their origins, I'm talking about just the origin
of psychiatry
of the practice.
It's bad.
Torture, basically.
Yes.
So now all of a sudden we supposed to be like, okay, I believe what you say is crazy. Let me tell you what crazy is. to me. Nigga don't know who he is.
Yep.
Running around killing people.
Association. Yep.
Jumping over niggas' fences at night.
Yep.
Sleeping under a nigga car.
Right.
Just because he won't. Like, crazy is, you know crazy when you see crazy.
Right. Right.
And I think sometimes, this one lady who was she was a priestess. She was like, what you're calling crazy is people caught in between dimensions. Now, I don't know. I had a home. Me and that cool. I seen him recently. Seen him in like 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
I was in Hollywood, saw the nigga recently. Nigga still gone. He had one bad trip on some drugs.
And being gone.
Oh, yeah, and your mind can't come back.
And the nigga was seeing some other shit from then on.
Yeah, don't fuck with your neurons. It's not good.
I was walking down the block. He said, hey, my nigga. I was like, what's happening, my nigga?
Right.
I think it was when Corey Holcomb did the show down here at the Palladium.
Wow.
I was walking into the Palladium. He was like, hey. I said, hey, my nigga, what's that? He said, nigga, get me in. I was like, I only got one ticket. Come on, let me.
Right.
But he was still gone.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Who's dating crazy? Somebody call me right now. We got Tiffany in here. We got Mimi in it.
Mimi.
You understand?
What up, though?
So what you describe are like the physical, like those are the easy crazy. The reason why I got a mental health, degree was because there's a lot of silent killers. So anxiety and depression and the characteristics we define it with, like on a clinical level, are the silent killers. Like those people that are visibly crazy, they're actually not the ones necessarily jumping off bridges and killing themselves and hanging themselves in their bedrooms and taking, overdosing on sleeping pills. It's the silent crazy that is
It's a lot of
killing especially in the Black community. We don't use enough language to necessarily really talk about it. So that's the one. That's why I went into practice. I don't like clinical practice. I don't believe in it either because of especially how it characterizes people and how it doesn't necessarily always benefit our community. But it gave me the language to really push back and actually help people in the proper way.
All right, let's get to the callers. We got a lot of them. Mimi, you had a point?
No, I was just gonna say you never know what someone is going through, and you even though they may appear to be okay, you don't know what their background is. You don't know what demons they're fighting and what they step into. I have a homeboy. You mentioned suicide. He killed himself in a U-Haul truck from depression. And he broke into the truck and hung himself. And we all got together, putting the pieces together, and there were signs, and you try to help the person, but sometimes you can't help them if they don't want the help.
Right. Wow. I also lost a friend to suicide, and she hung herself in her closet. Yeah,
what if you were raised by crazy?
That's the hardest. Yep. That's the hardest.
Fuck. What if you were nurtured and loved by crazy?
Oh, my God.
God damn. 323-230-4610. Callers. You're on the line. What's your name and where you calling from? Speak.
It's Tom from Ohio.
John from Ohio?
Tone.
Nah, Tone.
Tone?
Hey, Tone.
Well, hey, watch your tone in your delivery, Tone.
Yes.
What's happening, man? Speak on it.
Nah, I wanted to agree with what Tim was talking about, the silent killers. Man, I be trying to tell my dad and, the older generations, like, it's kind of hard to, like, even kind of judge this younger generation and even my generation. Like, I'm 28, and I try to tell them, like, have you ever had a friend whose mom was on heroin from the time he was born, and, like, he had it in his system, and, like, he off, but he's cool for the most part. You know what I'm saying? But, like, like, that's not really, like, he ain't all the way there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they don't fathom shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't know about going to school and, like that pill popping shit was regular when I was in high school. Like, and, like, it's crazy, like, people just now catching on. I was like, man, like, folks been on that shit.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow. That's crazy.
I definitely get what she's talking about on that. And as far as, like, dating bipolar, my baby mom, she, like, just got diagnosed with bipolar, and it's starting to make sense now. You know what I'm saying? Because she was raised in a real abusive relationship with her mom. You know what I'm saying? Being on drugs and all of that shit.
Damn.
So Yeah.
Well, brother, I thank you for sharing your story, man. We appreciate it. The phone lines are open. Anybody can participate if they'd like. The number to dial is 323-230-4610. Super chat, YouTubers, man, y'all got to stop playing. I said 10 books in 10 minutes.
It's been like 30 minutes.
We got one book in 30 minutes.
All
No,
right.
actually in 46 minutes.
Bummer.
Where y'all 9 book buyers at?
They
Right.
playing.
Come
Get
on
your
now.
credit card out. Come
They
on now.
playing. All right, you know what? Just play Zozo, man. Just take a quick break, man, because they don't give a fuck about us.
Oh.
Let's go. Shit.
So I got this 2-time chick who got her revenge from when I was on my 2-time tip. And even when I tried to correct it, she couldn't get past how she was disrespected, neglected my effort, a pair with no trust, dirty games and affairs that been tearing us up. If things ain't picture perfect, is it really worth it? I have an idea, but I need to know for certain. I'm calling you up, I'm calling you up, 'cause I need a love doctor, and I need it right away. I'm calling you up, I'm calling you up, 'cause I need to hear the doctor's voice.
This shit's starting to grow on me.
It's been on me, so.
It's some player shit. Don't play.
Play that shit one more time. Yep.
So I got this 2-timing chick who got her revenge from when I was on my 2-time tip. And even when I tried to correct it, she couldn't get past how she was disrespected.
This is like 10 years.
Effort, a pair with no trust, dirty games and affairs that
and it's still applies.
It's like 2007.
Is it really worth it? I have an idea
from the
but I need to
archives.
know for certain.
I like it though. It's hot.
Somebody said it's weird, but it's tight. Ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to the Voice of Reason on Dash Talk Radio. Tonight's topic is a good one. Quality crazy. How to date quality crazy. God damn. We're living in a very narcissistic society. You in the dig? Narcissism used to be considered some type of mental disorder. I heard they took it out of the DSM.
Yeah, they
because
renamed it.
It's so fucking pervasive.
Mhm.
Everybody has it.
Mm-hmm.
So if everybody has narcissism or suffers from some form of it, me, I think the cell phone did that to us because the cell phone and social media did that, helped as well. Cell phone and social media, put it all in our hands. So that isolates and insulates us and makes it about us all the goddamn time.
Mm-hmm.
Gosh, it's a struggle. How everybody's crazy. Does that mean the cooter is gonna get better? Because I heard the crazier the woman, the more fire the cooter. And I think women like crazy men. Wild niggas. Wildlings that can't be dealt with or handled. Y'all like crazy projects, don't you?
Sometimes.
Tiffany, nope.
Sometimes. Sometimes I think.
I'll go ahead, Mimi.
I think sometimes that people are attracted to challenges and things that are not so easy. So therefore, someone that's wild and on the wild side, it's kind of like what we said on another show. If one guy's calling you all day and the other one calls you, he's a little wild. He's a little bit more interesting. You're calling him to see, nigga, why you not calling me? Where the other guy, he's a little bit more. You can kind of count on what he may or may not do. But a person that you don't know what their actions are, you'll never know. Those people sometimes become interesting to people. And I also think when you give people the brush off, some people like that even more. They like when you're not giving them the attention that they feel that they deserve.
I could smoke a bag of that. Jeez. Tiffany, got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Can love be enough to sustain a relationship even with someone suffering from mental illness?
No. I'm gonna be very honest, absolutely not.
You.
Yeah, and just from experience, like working in the field I started leading groups and like helping actually like in a significant way when I was 15. So I've been doing this for like 15 years. But watching it, you can love someone with your everything, but some real, like clinically significant mental illnesses are so pervasive that they wear your spirit down and can suck you in. It's kind of like a black hole. It's gonna pull in your energy. And if you're both spiraling, it's very hard. Love is not enough sometimes.
I don't agree.
I think that.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I think if I'm in a relationship with a man and we're married or we're together, like this is not someone I just met. Because if I just met you and you're crazy, goodbye, homie. But if I've been with you and they diagnose you with having some type of illness, mental illness, I'm stand by you and we can hopefully get through this. Now, obviously, if he's hurting me, harming me, then I need to rethink some things.
Shit, Mimi, I don't agree with that either.
Why? If he's hitting me? If he's hitting me and beating me?
No.
But I'm going to stay in it to stand by his side if I'm with him.
This is what I mean by it. I think we don't really have love in that way. I see love one way.
Okay.
And I see it as unconditional.
Okay.
And I think women have unconditional love for their children. Like, if it's their kid, they're going to ride with that kid. But if it's a nigga, women be like, all right, nigga.
Hey, some females will take their nigga over their okay, go check in South Central.
And that's crazy, too.
And no, women, their last to their rest the kid. Or they'll go drop the kid off to hang out with some dude they just met over at Sally's house, and no one's even paying the child the type of attention that the child needs and deserves.
Right. I mean, but that's what I mean. Like, you know how we do on this show. It's always some banal.
Exactly. But no, I agree. You're right. But I just had to put that out there because I do know mothers who, if you want to find them, they're at the club and the baby's with the grandmother. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm
That's
just
crazy.
using that example to
That's
say, and then
crazy.
she's going on dates and trying to put the baby to sleep, and so she can go out and see some niggas.
Let me ask Tiffany this too: Is stalking is that like a mental condition?
Yeah, for most part, for like excessive stalking, like we've talked about the story with like that basically the terroristic level stalking, absolutely. The amount of pervasive thoughts that go into that amount of energy, that literally it's basically for it to be an actual disorder, for it to be a mental actual illness, it has to disrupt daily living, right? Wow. So if you're stalking Mimi to the point where like he probably wasn't doing what he's supposed to do that day, handling business, or you're kidnapping her and bringing her whatever, or whatever it may be, it's disrupting your daily rhythm. So for real, like that's a mental illness, yes. And yeah.
What is it called?
So that's the curious part, right? Is that a lot of that stuff, those kind of characteristics would fall under personality disorders. And if you talk to anybody, even with the new DSM criteria, personality disorders are really the worst to have because there's no treatment for them. It's basically just like, we're going to challenge your thought processes, but basically personality disorders are hard to work with because it requires perception, and that's the issue with their mental health is they lack perception, like the personal introspective part.
Wow. That's crazy.
So it's just very untreatable.
If you crazy, Tiffany just said your shit is untreatable.
If you have a personality disorder, it's a mess.
They can't help you, nigga. It's over, nigga. The phone lines is lit. Call us right now. The number to dial is 323-230-4610. You're listening to The Voice of Reason. We're talking about how to safely date crazy. Caller, you're on the line. What's your name and where you calling from? Speak on it.
What up, y'all? This is Antonio.
Antonio, what's up, my man? What's the word?
Not much. You know, I had to call in on this one because, I heard the dude earlier and he said some stuff that was kind of off. I just wanted to make sure everybody gets the right information. Black men and black women make the same amount of money now. And the reason why I think it's important is, like, if you walking in with a concept and a construct that are like white America, white men make more than white women and they make more than black women. But black men and black women make about the same money. And in some households, and you live by household, black women make more, considerably more. And I think what happens is we create a construct based on nothing that we personally experienced or that black people have experienced regularly in 30 years. And so, like, we have a whole craziness not just about like family, community, but about money itself. And so then you just create this whole idea of what you should get in exchange. So you taking your Uber money to take her out to dinner and you mad because she don't want to give you none at the end, you shouldn't have took your Uber money. And
right.
And I feel like, people take pieces of bad data to make a crazy psyche. So, like, you take all these pieces of stuff that isn't a psychological person.
Right.
And with the you mad that you didn't get none at the end of the night.
Ooh.
Well, that's not how it works.
Ooh.
That's not the way dinner works.
Keep
and
going.
I think for, it's dinner. It's like, take her where you like to eat. Then you be full on what you like to eat. Then you won't be feeling so frustrated. I think part of what you're seeing is we're all mimicking like white folk and white wealth, and we look at income versus wealth. We really, really need to get back to like the home and understanding. Even like when we look at this idea of providing, we just taking pieces of marriage. What about dowry? What about her providing the dowry so our wedding has a grounded first level of finance? Her family. What about her paying for the wedding so that we don't have to start off borrowing to pay for the wedding? Like, there's supposed to be an exchange that's missing in so many of our relationships, and then we just made it up based on ego. And a lot of that ego came out of these songs. Can you pay my bills, my telephone bill? There was no male version of that song. Where's my dower? There was no "Where's My Dower" song, right? So,
where's my dower song? Boy, if you don't fucking quit.
I'm just saying. and, and then the last thing, we really dealing with a whole shift technologically. This selfie thing, it really drove people crazy that's under the age of 35. And everybody just accepted it as normal. You, like taking 100 pictures of yourself in the bathroom. Like, I don't know how you don't walk out of there crazy.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? My auntie used to be fine, and she only got like 4 pictures of herself, like by herself, and they was at events. So you used to have to wind the camera, click, 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 and you on 16 shots.
So Tone,
go ahead.
I need to set you up again, man. How has today's society really made us crazy? Give us 3 strong examples.
First thing is, a lot of people are against the church, but I think in the church you learn a little discipline. So you got people running out here that ain't that. Most of us grew up, you had an auntie that took you to the church at 12 and 11, so we don't have no discipline. We don't have that community of discipline. Second thing is, it made it so like there's no repercussions, meaning like, if you a fine girl, you can go city to city and just be an a-hole to different people in different cities.
Wait. Slow down. Hold on. I can't let you walk past that thought. Because that's a type of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bad. I'm a baddie. So I'm not paying for shit. My physicality is a type of currency, and I have a certain standard that comes along with that. Regardless of how we stand or our financial standing as a community in America.
Or her lineage. Or
my lineage. I could be sleeping.
Your daddy is on Skid Row. So let's look at her. You get these girls.
Damn.
You put 30,000 sending your kid cash. However you piece that together. I don't want to hear no Cardi B from you. That girl is not right. I'm saying that's a form of crazy. You feed yourself crazy, and then you get crazy out. You come home, watch Lifetime about people that are married in 3 states. You don't know nothing about that. So I'm saying, long story short, my point is just to say, I think we feed ourselves ideas of data rather than data. That guy called in with a certain idea of the way the data looked that was inaccurate. I don't know how that was white men versus like white women. That wasn't black men versus black women. So then he's going out trying to pay into a date based on that misunderstanding. Then he's mad when he don't get what he think he's supposed to get. Where'd all this come from?
Cray.
It's crazy. End on this and say, come back to it and just say we need to get back to being grounded. And you just got to communicate like with the other person. The problem is a lot of people don't like to be communicated with because then you got to get to the nitty gritty. What do you expect? What do I expect? And what can I give? And what do I have? And what do you have to give? And is that enough?
Wow.
Is that enough?
Wow. Man, good looking, boy. I see you Friday gonna be fire. I appreciate it.
Hustle Talk this Friday on Tone Talk, 7 p.m.
That's
good
right.
shit, my nigga.
Thank you.
Thank you for the call. The phone lines are open. 323-230-4610. Are you dating quality crazy? Very powerful topic. Quality crazy. Just broke down how that cognitive dissonance thing I was telling you. We just don't know what the fuck is going on, and we think we're supposed to behave according to some rules that I think those rules are now outdated.
Or we're trying to operate within white society's rules and we're black. So like Tone said, that guy was talking about wage differences. And the first thing I thought was like he had the wrong data too. And people were blowing it up in the chat room too. Is that, yeah, black women and black men are actually pretty equal in regards to wage earnings right now.
Right.
Those statistics are based on white households. And so that our dating game should be different. But for whatever reason, a lot of us still hold white societal norms even dating.
But I think even that is crazy.
That is crazy.
That's like the hurdle.
But that's a catch-22 because niggas is the least person to want to go.
Okay, so you're gonna be mad.
You know, I'm being real.
Go lay down, nigga, and put a rag on your head.
But people are not rushing to go to the psychiatrist and the psychologist. Where people, they will find the brochure and they'll find out some way to get some help. So I think that we pick certain things, but we're not picking up that one because if we did, a lot of people would be on Prozac right now.
Well, and here's my disclaimer with this, and this is where I get controversial and people get real like, what, Tiffany? Yeah, I'm a licensed mental health professional, but I don't do traditional therapy for a specific reason, which is it is not for black people. I'll be very honest. Clinical psychology and psychiatry was created by white people for white people. And to experiment on others. So most of these therapy modalities that they use weren't for us. They've never been tested on us. We're not sure how much they actually really work in our communities. And so if you are going to be a person of color and you go to therapy, I 100% will say it is worth your while to try to find a black practitioner. There's not a lot of us. But it is in your benefit to go to therapy by someone who looks like you. Because these therapy models are not made for us. And what most of them don't tell you is they have to diagnose you with a disorder to bill you. So they might not tell you that, but to bill your insurance, they have to diagnose you. If you have gone to a therapist more than 3 times, you have a diagnosis. You just might not know it.
Let me ask you this question, Tiffany. What leads to cray-cray? What are like some cray-cray red flags? Like, you look at this nigga cray-cray.
Yeah. Oh goodness.
I know Mimi got some cray red flags.
Oh, I mean, man. So one of the big things I look for, I try to find a man and find a way in which to find how he interacts with animals and children. It's the number one way to see if a man has empathy. And if they don't interact well with animals or children, I don't fuck with you.
Wait a minute. What if you just don't like animals?
You can just not like animals, but there's a way to not like animals. Like there's a difference between ooh, I just don't like cats. Ooh, I'm jumpy versus like, I'm gonna kick the cat away. So that's what I look for.
That's part of being a good little boy. You know how boys be fucking animals up.
Fucking with animals is a sign of either sociopath, psychopathology.
You know how many
that's how they start animals. Torturing animals is a sign of social. Yeah.
When I was little, I used to toss them hamsters in the air on the bed
until
the motherfucker just stopped.
Right.
So then they ain't moving Okay, we need another hamster.
Right.
Another reason why we don't. I can't fuck with Zoe for real.
Motherfuckers. Somebody see? So I don't like animals, so I'm crazy.
No, again, there's a way to not like animals. You can just not have an affinity for animals. That's fine. But there's a difference between not liking animals and being evil towards animals. And the same thing with children. You can
Animals
just not
see
like
spirits,
kids.
my nigga.
Yes.
And when animals start acting weird around me, I'll fuck an animal up.
You know
understand?
Can't
come
you
here,
just
act-
get away from the animal? That's what I'm saying.
Animals
Zoe.
be fast.
I mean, they do be hella fast. I ain't gonna fucking
Beside a
lie.
turtle, nigga, what's a slow animal?
Right.
Most of them niggas be on your ass.
Right. Quick.
Yeah. But this is one thing I look for to see empathy, like how they interact with other creatures, other humans, and children and animals are a good indicator for me from my experience.
Wow. Okay, that's good. I like that. What else? You got more?
I do, but I thought it looked like Mimi wanted to say one real quick.
No, I'm gonna get to Mimi.
Okay.
See,
So-
that's how you set people up.
So one is how they interact with children and animals. And then the other one is how they respond to provide like a challenging retort. So like if we're having a conversation and they can't handle if I disagree with a concept, that's an indicator to me that they either have anger or explosive tendencies. Like if we can't have a conversation and genuinely just disagree and not have the same opinion, that's an indicator of crazy to me.
I'm crazy.
I mean, yes.
I'll tell you that shit
Yes,
right this
we have
evening.
figured
I'm
that out.
crazy. I have a very explosive personality.
You have shared that with us before.
Right?
Yeah.
And one of my biggest issues is disrespect and stupid.
Right.
Because my brain.
Yep.
The limbic system is the old brain, the reptilian brain. Now, what the difference between the two, athletic, and the other one is not.
Right.
The thinking brain is slow.
Yep.
The frontal lobe is because it's wait a minute, this shit. Okay, this motherfucker is trying to get under my skin. Okay, cool. It's thinking. It's strategizing.
It's
that as athletic as Vince Carter, my nigga. And it has power to hijack that frontal lobe.
Yes, it does.
You under dig? And one thing about the brain, period, it's a muscle. So you gotta be working that frontal lobe to be able to deal. You understand what I'm saying? You gotta be working that shit. You under dig? A lot of people don't have the tools to know how to work that shit.
No, not at all.
You in the dig? A lot of people are struggling. And that's fine. That's why we're doing this show on how to date crazy. It's okay. If you know, because a lot of women know. God damn. This is what I'm saying. Y'all got superpowers built in, right?
Right.
Okay. Intuition. A lot of y'all will stuff that shit in your back pocket and try to manage crazy. Am I right? How many of you motherfuckers out there managing crazy? Because of whatever resources and benefits you getting from it. I got him. I know how to deal.
Make excuses.
Oh, Jesus. 323-230-46. If you're a female, it's harder to manage it.
That's maybe why that is like DBT. That's dialectical behavior therapy, cognitive behavior therapy, specifically because it talks about managing.
Good for me.
No, it's good for everybody. That's where like I legit, the one part that I use personally all the time, I say I would never use anything on anybody that I haven't either done myself or willing to do with you. And so DBT and CBT stress middle ground. Talks about managing the middle ground. And you know, a good portion of life is all about that goddamn gray zone.
I done told
that
people
flexing that muscle, that's where you practice it. Middle ground management is where you practice flexing between your frontal cortex and your limbic system. Is that middle ground. It was when like that impulse to be like, what the hell? And then be like, wait, let me think. So challenging the gray zone and managing middle ground, that's what I like about those therapy models.
Hold on one second, ladies. my peoples are complaining about the audio.
Yeah, they're
You
saying
guys,
the sound quality is bad.
You guys can't hear? Testing 1 2 1 2. I know you can hear. Shit sounds delicious to me. I just turned things down so we can hear.
Hilarious.
She's Mimi Williams said, "Why you keep turning it down over there? I want it up. Okay, I want it up." Ladies and gentlemen, tell me if you could hear, because we're having a great conversation. I love this track. Maybe it's our Wi-Fi, but it's cool. We'll be all right. I'm getting text messages from my brothers or whatnot. Okay, let me handle this text message, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a caller right now. Let's go. Caller, you're on the line. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hello?
Yeah, what's happening?
What's up, man? This is Banks, man. I'm calling out of San Antonio by way of Houston. And, man, I'm telling you, like, this topic is really touch home, man, because I know I'm dating crazy. And it's to the point where, you know, the person I'm dating, they're securing they crazy, and now it's like it's making me crazy. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Is that making any sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well,
it's like, when I got with this person, you know, I was in a dark place. I was in a deep depression. I've had a lot of trauma, you know, throughout my life, and so, you know, when this person came along and provided a stable environment, you know, where I could work on me and get better. And, you know, now, you know, I feel like, you know, I'm in a place where, you know, I can get back and try to help with the man. It's like there's no, I'm with the type of crazy person that you can't address their crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Is that making any sense?
Have you ever been called crazy by your woman?
No, but what I've done recently is, you know, I started because one of the things that I do is, you know, I've always, with anybody I deal with, you know, they're right or wrong, you know, I try to understand where other people come from, even if I don't agree with you. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're wrong, I try to understand, you know, where the other person is coming from. And, you know, what I end up doing is actually giving the other person an out. You know, and so now it's like, it's flipped on me, and it's like, okay, I'm the crazy one, and I know I'm not crazy. Well, maybe I am crazy because, you know, in my right mind, I'm like, you know, you need to get the hell out of here. You know what I mean?
Let me be honest with you, homeboy. I know you calling, and I know you sharing and all, but you sound crazy.
I feel crazy. Like I said, I've been taken there. I'm gonna keep it 100. You know what I mean?
No, but I think you're speaking on something that I think is real.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy making.
Yes. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. It's the number one side effect of dealing with someone crazy is that you then become it and trying to cope with it.
Right. Because like you said, this person is actually clinical, and it's like, but we can't address your crazy, but you know, you try. I try so hard to help this person work through their crazy to the point where, you know, like I said, now I'm the crazy guy. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, it's just like recently in the last 2 weeks or so, like for the first time in my life, I've actually had a mental breakdown. You know, where, you know, I start to like really start to look at me, and I'm like, you know, but when I snap back to my senses, I'm like, no, I'm not crazy. What the crazy part of me is, what's crazy is sticking around in a situation that.
Did you notice she was crazy when you first started dating her?
His phone hung up on him.
Yeah, well, I thought that, and then I also thought he said he got with her when he was not doing so well. So he didn't get with her for, you know, because he was so into her. He was going through something. And so sometimes when you're going through stuff, you overlook things because you need shelter or you need whatever it is you're trying to gain.
Yeah.
So sometimes you make excuses for whatever that person is doing because you have your motive.
I think people are attracted to their own diagnosis.
Yeah, I agree.
Like whatever your brand of crazy is sexy than a motherfucker to you.
Well, actually, or the complete like contrast that happens a lot too.
That
So
too.
like if you're what's a good example? If you're highly depressed or anxious, you tend to actually attract like narcissists and reactive attachment, like people who have attachment issues, but you actually need attachment. You tend to also attract your opposite.
Right.
Because it's toxic. Like someone who's a user personality disorder and you're a person who needs, they come to you because all you want to do is give the love to try to get it, and they're just sucking it from you.
Right.
So that happens a lot to people.
I think everybody got a little crazy in them, whether they want to admit it or not. There's a little crazy that lives in everybody.
You ain't motherfucking lying.
Yeah.
What about motherfuckers who suffer from the white knight syndrome?
Right.
Rescuers.
Yeah.
To me,
The
that's
white knight, the white hat. Yeah.
That's a kind of crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I just gotta save a motherfucker.
Yep.
I call it missionary syndrome.
Yeah, that shit crazy too.
Mm-hmm.
Who out there suffering? You know you getting taken advantage of. You know you about to get this nigga your rent money.
Oh, no.
You can't save him with your rent money.
Some people love it, though. They love it.
All this shit crazy, man.
Shoot. And then it's even people who know better. I have a friend that's a pastor, and they're dating someone that fell hard on their luck, and they let the person move in. And after he got in the house, he doesn't even have sex with her. It's been like 5-6 months. I mean, not that she should be having sex, but I'm just saying he's not having sex. He's spending all his time in the streets. And then she said to me the other day, she said, I realized I need to love myself. So at least she's getting the lesson in the relationship because she doesn't love herself. And sometimes when you don't love yourself, you'll go for anything.
Shit, that's real.
Yeah.
Caller, you're on the line. What's your name? Where you calling from? Call in right now. What's your name, bruh? Man, the phone. Yeah, bruh.
My name is Brother Kevin. Can you hear me?
You on the Boost Mobile, pimp? My brother.
Yeah, I'm on
You on the Boost Mobile?
007
Yeah.
So I'm not going to give you my name.
You couldn't.
But I just
Your
want
girl is there? Is that what it is? You at home with your woman?
Nah, it ain't.
You had the kid on the roof?
Nah, I wish.
Okay, cool. You can speak on it.
I wish.
Go
I
ahead.
just wanted to chime in and speak about people that enable people with the crazy.
Crazy enablers. Okay. All right.
I.e. the system. My baby mama has been offered medication, counseling, and whatnot. But the same people that offered her this are reaching out to me about being in my children's life to kind of balance things. You know what I'm saying? How could you say somebody's crazy, but they could be the sole death for children?
Damn, bruh. You know what? I hate to interrupt you, bruh, but your phone does not want you to bang on your baby mama. 'Cause I can't hear.
Right.
Your phone is not cooperating with you, bruh. Do me a favor. The phone lines are clear right now. Hang up and call me right back. We need you to be in a better space, bro.
Right. Because I think his point he's making is that the baby mama has a diagnosis and she has access to resources, but it doesn't incorporate him, which is a systemic. It's a systemic. I'm not going to say it's an error.
Basically, a crazy baby mama is better than a single dad in the court's eyes.
Well, to the system, but again, the system was made to divide black families. So, like, I'm not going to say it's an error in the system. The system is working the way they intended it, but yeah, it's jacking up families. It's not necessarily giving resources to everybody in the family. It might just give it to the single mama and the babies and screw the dad.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's crazy.
And that is also my disclaimer. Medical doctors are not significantly trained in mental health, period. Like in all their 8 years of training, it's about 2 weeks. So, but they're prescribing you mental health medications and psychotics, antipsychotics and all of that. So please, 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 especially if you're a black person, do not just go get a prescription. Please always put a prescription with counseling, period. Don't ever just take mental health drugs. That is like the worst thing you could do.
Right.
Yeah.
What happens when you take the mental those prescription drugs? What happens to your brain?
Most of them, like SSRIs, they're serotonin.
Slow down.
They're serotonin.
Explain to people
inhibitors.
What SSRI is.
Right. So they're serotonin inhibitors. They're changing the chemical way your brain works.
Fuck that.
Right. So, and keyword inhibitors. It's inhibiting something from working in your brain.
And the
to
brain
make it
is a
change.
fucking supercomputer.
Supercomputer.
I'm finna just fuck with your motherboard real quick.
Right.
Right.
And the key is they
What?
know it changes something. They don't necessarily know what or how or why. And the other thing with all these prescription drugs is off-brand use, which was most of these drugs were actually tested for one thing, and they're actually giving you it for another reason. So like one of the number one drugs they give people is called like a Neurontin. Neurontin's actually an anti-seizure drug that they realize helps with anxiety and depression, but it's not actually intended for anxiety and depression. It's actually an anti-seizure drug. So a lot of these medications, especially just regular medical doctors, if you go to your clinic and you're like, oh, I'm depressed or whatever, they're giving you, it's not actually the original use of the drug.
Let me ask you this.
And they're not tested on black people, so who knows what the fuck it's going to do to you.
Let me ask you this, though. What about weed? Is weed good for crazy? Mimi?
I think that weed can help out the crazies. Obviously.
Like, nigga, go get over there and smoke a joint, nigga.
Because I think that if they're a certain type of crazy, if they get them like a indica, then that'll actually relax them, and maybe they can take their ass to bed, or maybe they can sit and think for a minute, have a nacho or two. You know what I mean? I think it would help them in that way. But if they're like severely crazy, obviously they need additional help. But weed helps a lot of people. It even helps people when they have forms of autism. So one of my patients has autism, and he smokes weed, and he finds that his arms and everything kind of straighten up. And they have it on YouTube where there's people who have taken weed or smoked weed, and it's actually helped their mobility.
Got it.
Yeah, it actually are starting to use THC for anti-seizure medication treatments too.
Yes.
So the issue with why the government doesn't like marijuana is because they didn't capitalize on it first, and pharmaceuticals can't make money on it. Now, the reason why I would never just tell a client to go self-medicate and just go smoke weed like anything else, if you have any of these symptoms of actual mental health issues and you're going to self-medicate with weed, couple it with therapy. The reason I'm always advocating for couple it with something is someone to monitor your behavior. Marijuana, like anything else, food, sex, drugs, can be addictive. And you want to make sure there's an outside person watching to see if your behavior has changed in a negative or positive way. That's the reason I say couple it with therapy, just so someone else is monitoring the change. Yeah, weed is great for tons of medical purposes, but also there's a lot of people addicted to weed where it's making them lazy as fuck and they can't do shit. So just make sure it's being positive in your life.
This shit is crazy.
Because, yeah, there's tons of positive reasons, but just make sure someone's monitoring and telling you, like, am I now a couch potato that don't do shit, or is it actually helping me be a more productive citizen?
Mimi,
but I think people... go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say a person that's a couch potato smoking weed, they was going to be a couch potato anyway. Believe me, if you are determined to do something, weed doesn't stop you from doing what you have to do. It's not like getting drunk where you get so drunk you're on the corner and you can't get up and you're throwing up and you can't move. Weed is not like that. Weed, you know what I'm saying? You can still do your work as long as you know what you're trying to do. If you're just a lazy motherfucker, then that's just what you are.
No, I'm not saying it makes you lazy. What I'm saying is anything can be addictive, and marijuana is not excluded. That's all I'm saying.
Wait a minute,
agree,
is it?
Huh?
I've been hearing different shit about marijuana.
No, again, anything can be addictive. Anything can have the qualities of being addictive. Again, food, sex, sugar, like anything can be addictive. So I'm just saying, make sure if you're using it for a specific reason or you're saying it's for a specific reason, that it's actually helping you with that specific reason.
Okay, all right,
No,
all right.
Yeah.
Weed is all right, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so this is what we gonna do. I want to hear that truth drop.
Yes, please.
You in the dick? I'm talking to you behind the board. The hell?
Sorry for my squeal.
You. Play that drop for me now. The truth drop. Play it. And I want to be able to talk over it.
This is the death of relationship dumbasification. A thought-provoking conversation with the voice of reason. An exploration into why you and your girl just can't relate. The world is tuned in to the voice of reason. Blowing up the foxhole every Thursday evening. If your man is tripping, then talk to Zoe before you leave. Maybe y'all can make it work, and if not, he can tell you exactly how to tell him to kick rocks. Intelligence with lots of comedy. It's not your average show. It's Zoe Williams, the voice of reason on Foxhole Radio.
Hey. Play it one more time. Start it over. Hey!
is the death of relationship dumbmassification. A thought-provoking conversation with the voice of reason. An exploration into why you and your girl just can't relate. The world is tuned in to the voice of reason, blowing up the foxhole every Thursday evening. If your man is tripping, then talk to Zoe before you leave. Maybe y'all can make it work, and if not, he can tell you exactly how to tell him to kick rocks. Intelligence with lots of comedy. It's not your average show. It's Zoe Williams, the voice of reason on Foxhole Radio.
Supposed to say, man, I love that track. Produced by my homeboy Joseph Lineberg. The voice of reason. Get to your phone lines. The number to dial is 323-230-4610. Are you in a loving relationship with Cray Cray? Gosh. Crazy than a motherfucker. Crazy. Are you there? This is his theme music. You be in the bathroom and he'd be like creeping in.
Uh-oh. Watch out now.
You in a relationship with a serial killer? That's wrong.
Like, uh-oh. Shoot, but I can see the signs. There's signs.
Tell me the signs, Mimi. I want to know your signs, and then we go into the phone line.
One, I pay attention to how they deal with certain things in the streets, like their anger levels. You know what I mean? If I notice the littlest thing takes them from A to Z, that's a sign. Number two, if I'm in a discussion with them and I don't seem to have the same views they have, and how they're acting towards me not having the same views tells me a lot.
You mean like a rightaholic kind of person? Somebody that just got to be right?
Yeah, they got to be right, but they almost
then
are
they get angry.
Yeah, but they're getting mad about nothing. We're talking about the nacho cheese, and they're so mad because I said it's not nacho and it's cheese, or whatever the case may be.
This ain't motherfucking cheese.
Yeah, this motherfucking mustard. You
this
know
is
what
salad
I mean?
dressing. Shit.
Right.
That nigga.
Yeah, that nigga. So I think if he's arguing about nothing, and every time I look around, he's always combative and fights, and he seems to have this situation, then I'm gonna pay attention to it. Is it him? You know what I'm saying? And I think my intuition is gonna kick in immediately because I've dealt with crazy before, so I know crazy when I see it. You know what I mean? Because some of these people, they're luring crazy.
Yeah. I know crazy when I see it too.
You got to tell me too much. I can see it in your eye.
You know what I think is also crazy? When you see crazy, you engage crazy, and then you try to fight crazy.
Right.
I know some motherfuckers who try to fight crazy.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what kind of nigga you fucking with, and most women do, all of a sudden you want to fight?
Right.
You know that nigga crazy.
Exactly.
So you want to engage that nigga on his turf?
Right.
You crazy.
Exactly. Exactly. And you knew the job was dangerous when you took it because you knew what type of man this is. Damn. I think you get warnings before it happens. There's warnings before destruction. You see your dude, he's doing this. When he talking to you, balling up his fist, that nigga giving you a sign. Next, that's going to be your head. You know what I mean?
God damn it. This shit's crazy.
Shoot. And because I'm a victim of domestic violence,
I
see it immediately.
Right.
I can see it in their eye. I'm like, this fool look like he didn't like what I said, and it's not a regular don't like. It's some shit where better be careful what I say to him.
Right. There's also the people that silently implode first. You know, those people that get real quiet all of a sudden, real quick before they go boom. I look for that too, like, oh shit, no, I'm about to hurricane status. I'm gonna go over here.
But you two are bringing up hurricane status is hilarious, by the way. You guys are bringing up great points, but I think the other point that we should look at here is this: every person you meet is flawed in some kind of way.
Absolutely.
And every person you meet, whether they're diagnosed as crazy or not, is a work in progress in dealing with themselves.
Yes.
Right? And the only real way to deal with yourself is to get into a relationship.
Right.
Because that's when you start seeing bullshit about yourself coming back to you. Now, I'm going to say this. I don't believe, like, whatever your issue is some shit that is easily fixable. Like,
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't believe, like, oh, all I got to do is go over here and do this.
Right. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But I will say this. There are, like, for instance, church. This is what I learned. Like, Jeff Brown gets mad at me because I don't pull out my sword and cut down religious people with my knowledge. Because I understand there's certain motherfuckers that if they don't have that religious belief,
Right.
it would be like freeing a motherfucking demon.
Yeah, it's like their coping mechanism.
That's how they deal.
It's one of their coping skills.
So if I go in and be like, this ain't true, that ain't true, let me show you in your book. They'd be like, oh, well, fuck it then. I'm going to start eating babies. Like, okay,
No,
hold
right.
on.
Like, that's their coping strategy. Give them that shit. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So, you know, I just think that coping strategy has to be developed from within and not from the outside.
Right.
Because I don't think even a therapist with thousands of hours of training, I don't think they can really peer into a motherfucker.
Oh, no.
And see and connect and understand where they are.
Right.
You understand?
That's the issue. Like, as a therapist, we're only able to quote unquote treat what you present, which is why it's so ineffective, because most people are lying, even to their therapist. So I'm only treating what you telling me, and if what you're telling me is lies, well, shit, we ain't making progress anyways.
You know what's cool
Right.
about that?
And then half the step therapists are crazy too. So it's like crazy teaching crazy.
Yeah, but you know what? That's damn Mimi.
Crazy
Mimi.
treating crazy. They sitting there with the answers, but they don't have no answers for themselves.
Damn.
But they know them all.
I had some heat, but you just hit me hard, Mimi. If you do the research, most therapists are fucked up.
Right.
They've been through some fucked up shit.
Well, I would say I actually
We
want
all
a therapist
have.
that's been through therapy because it makes them empathetic. Again, we're all damaged. We're all going through stuff. But I want a therapist who has been through some stuff and has the skills and have made it through it. So if someone asked me, what do I look for in a therapist? Because I've been through therapy 5 times myself. I've come from a traumatic background. That's what led me to wanting to be a therapist, right?
Yep.
It built my empathy. I don't want a therapist who's never been through therapy because, bitch, you don't know how it feels to be on the other side of this goddamn chair.
A therapist is like a good comedian.
Right.
You're not a good comedian unless you've been through some shit.
Right.
Most of the best comedians, if you meet comedians, the real good ones be fucked up. They done been through some shit.
Right. I'm not going to trust a therapist who's had a squishy life and never experienced adversity, and you ain't got shit in your toolbox except a rich parent who paid for your goddamn degree.
Right.
That don't do me no good. I need a therapist. I tell
shit.
people to look for a therapist like a good pair of jeans. Make sure their morals and values are in line with yours and that they fit with who you are.
Right.
You know what? You saying some other shit that reminds me of Dr. Mark Goulston.
I love Dr. G. You know I love
Dr. G. He was like, most people can't open up to people who don't have a concomitant experience.
Absolutely.
So in those circles where motherfuckers is in the circles together sharing, they not finna share with a motherfucker that ain't been where they at.
Right.
Exactly.
That shit's cold. Listen, this show's too fucking good for our damn YouTube watchers, or I should call them gawkers, right?
Right.
To not be donating something.
Looking on.
They just looking on. The damn show is too fucking good. Changing your lives in here, okay? Hit the super chat button and get shouted out like you know I do, okay? Stop playing. It's right there. There's a little $sign at the bottom of the chat room. I need everybody to... Well, okay. We got 2 book sales.
Wow.
I asked for 10. In 10 minutes, we got 2. Okay. I guess that's my answer. Okay, cool. Let that beat ride. Turn it up. You're listening to the voice of reason. Dash Talk Radio. Oh, yeah, I'm having a ball in here. I'm learning a lot.
Hey.
That's the thing.
We taught you something? Hey.
Well, I was trying to look normal.
Oh, damn.
Oh, hilarious.
Okay, cool. But
I was so excited. I was like, that rarely happens.
no, that's not true. I'm learning every day.
Truth.
I'd be disappointed if I'm not learning shit.
True.
Like, if I don't learn something, I'm like, what the fuck?
You know what I was going to say? The medication that they give patients, that stuff makes them go crazy. Like my mom's been really tripping lately. They put her on a new medication. And the medication has her like truly like hallucinating. She's swearing my cousin's dating her ex-husband and want to fight. I'm like, I really doubt it. And my point that I'm making is that she really believes it so. You understand me? Like she wants to fight. And so I said all that to say the medications that you're prescribed sometimes can make you worse off than you began because of the side effects as you spoke about and also the state of mind that the person's in because my mom's mind is not really in the right place anyway. So she didn't need an extra turn. The extra turn made us hit a block.
Mimi, somebody after your namesake. You got to shout them out, Mimi.
Shoot, Mimi?
Look, Mimi.
Oh, shit. What's up, Mimi Williams? And thank you for the 50. She dropping
That's
50 on
right.
them, okay?
That's right.
50. What up, girl, Mimi? You did that. That's what I'm talking about.
She said it was a fire show. Mimi Williams in the building.
Yes. In the building, baby.
She's faithful and consistent. That's what we're talking about.
Yes.
I mean, if you going to give to Creflo $1.
Right.
No disrespect to Creflo.
No, but you can tithe more than one community.
How about it?
Hey.
Mimi Williams, thank you. Look at the phone lines are just dripping right now. Let's get them in here. Callers! Talk to me about your crazy. Welcome to the Voice of Reason. Speak on it. Welcome to Dr. Crazy himself. Let's talk. Caller?
It's Darnell out of Tuscaloosa.
Darnell out of Tuscaloosa. Speak on it.
I want to say Tiff, she bringing that gold on this topic.
Thank you.
Tiffany doing well.
That's right.
Which bring me to her. Tiff, at the top of the year, I usually give something to the stem cell research, and I heard you talking about the neuro thing, and I was wondering, is it a program directly towards what you're talking about to donate to for more research on it?
Like specifically stem cell research that like does neurological like research. Not that I know of, but if you want to search and you really want to put your dollars to use, I'm all about supporting Black everything. So if you're about supporting stem cell research, I would find an organization that specifically does stem cell research on Black people.
I already do that. I was talking about more of what you were talking about the neuro. You were saying about the neuro, about helping them determine the diagnosis of what make people mental.
Oh yeah, like so nature versus nurture, a lot of it is hereditary now, but a lot of it is environmental. Like our environments can make us crazy. So I actually really do support Johns Hopkins. Their original history isn't that great for Black people, but recently they have like literally just a category, a section that is just Black doctors trying to address mental health in the Black community. Because again, most of these systems and these therapy models aren't for Black people. So if you want to look up Johns Hopkins and actually just say like Black therapists or Black psychology, you could donate there because they're doing the neuroscience research specifically on Black folks.
I love it.
Yeah,
that's good shit.
Yeah, because it sounded like what you were talking. It sounded like it worked like kind of like a drive-in movie. Kind of like like they projecting what they you get what I'm saying?
Right. So
but I don't know, but I definitely like to give it to research, give it to the masters, and let them figure it out. But it's definitely interesting. And Zoe, as far as the topic though, I don't really have much to say about the mental because it's a hard topic. But I can recommend that book that Dr. G was talking about. I read about the camel.
Mm-hmm.
It explained a lot in that too.
No doubt, brother. Hey man, I appreciate you every time you call, man. Thanks, man. All right, callers, you're on the line. What's your name and where you calling from? Talk to me about the crazy you live with. Speak on it.
It's Dwayne from Ohio, Mike check.
Dwayne from Ohio, Mike check. Speak on it, Ping.
Yeah, man, I done had quite a few crazies, and the fact of the matter is, I had to be crazy myself to deal with them in the first place.
Yeah.
The most recent situation was a young lady who did a pretty good job of hiding it. I heard some stories. I was like, nah, maybe they just hating. Come to find out, Shorty was a full-blown paranoid schizophrenic.
Oh,
But I
bummer.
didn't know it because she was slick on her meds around me. She came up off her meds, and I got a chance to see the real her and was like, ooh, my bad, shit. So I had to do some self-evaluating, evaluate the situation, had to get up out of that. And 4 years later, I'll still get a text message every now and then on some crazy shit. So it's crazy. And I've
But
been a
answer me
therapist
this.
for the past
Answer me
12
this.
years. Oh, go ahead.
Was it fire?
It was, especially the head game. That's why
I know that shit was like
that
that shit was like Los Angeles, nigga. It was fire.
I love her, right? But she's like, well, she's crazy. So I mean, do you stay? Do you go? Yeah. But long story short, I had to get up out of there, man. Safety got to prevail. Then you got to think a little bit ahead. But yeah, it's crazy, and everybody kind of got to check their own problems and situations out. And I honestly don't believe that you should be with somebody until you check your own issues. Because, like y'all said earlier, we all got them. And that's all it is to it.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate the call. Good looking, man. It's all love. The phone lines are open. We got, 12 minutes left. I would love to just have the callers share their stories like the brother just did. We just got a donation from Calvin Mosley, $10. We appreciate it. His note is, hate that my call dropped, but Tiffany hit the nail on the head about my situation. Zoe, your shows keep me from going off the deep end. Man, that's the whole point.
Mm-hmm.
And Mimi is a true unicorn.
Yes, she is.
Thank you guys. Keep it coming, Zoe.
All right now. Thank you.
Listen, man, and everybody has to find their cathartic practice or process.
Yes, you're
and
right.
sometimes that self-care, that cathartic practice could be art, could be music, you know what I'm saying? Could be exercise. You just got to get away from the triggers.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to, okay, this is going to trigger me. Let me get out of this situation and then put myself in another space. And sometimes it's hard to do that.
Right. Like you said you don't like disrespecting stupid. Well, that's walking around in the street every goddamn day.
Right, because the trigger is everywhere. But
know thyself.
What I found out with that, I mean, this is me, that's me younger. That's the younger me.
Right.
But it's still like under the surface.
Right.
And what I was able to understand about myself was clear. Somebody said dance and anal. Oh,
they're talking about their self-care. Oh,
yeah,
Jesus.
that's Miss Lips.
You can keep that. Oh, Miss Lips. We love you, girl.
What up, girl?
Okay.
No, but what I found out about myself was,
So
I was
love
like,
you,
Zoe, the reason why those things trigger you is because of your own arrogance and ego.
Ooh.
You think you know so fucking much that it causes you to be judgmental of people and thus irritable.
Right.
Well, that's in line with that saying that people don't like to change because they believe they're inherently right.
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 So once I was able to wrap my head around, nigga, that's you. That ain't them.
Right.
That's you. And I'm gonna tell you, my mother taught me this lesson because, I studied every religion since I was 16. And I mean, seriously, my mother, when I was young, my mother put me in a private Christian school.
I thought you were going to say Shabbat.
No, and what was crazy about that whole practice, story time with Zoe.
I love it.
Shoot.
Come on.
What was so crazy about that whole practice was my mind was like a sponge. I won damn near every Bible memorization skill practice that they had. I had 300-400 verses on deck. Boop, boop. My mother used to show me off. Go ahead, tell them about the story of Joseph. Tell them about the story of Abraham. Tell them. I just had it when I was a kid. So as I grew up, that insatiable appetite to keep studying outgrew Christianity.
Right. You were literally like the life of Pi. You were Pi.
You feel me? I just kept studying everything. So as I was studying, I made the common mistake that most motherfuckers make when they're studying. And that is, being young, I'm trying to teach while I'm studying.
The worst, yep.
No, nigga, don't teach shit until you get it all the way down.
Mastery.
Right.
Don't
Niggas
teach
be-
till you master.
Because they'll
Niggas
challenge your ass.
Right, niggas be 4 verses in trying to teach they new belief.
Right.
If you don't sit down somewhere.
Right.
So what I recognized through my mom, that's when the empathy came into play.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, nigga, what you know ain't for her.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And nigga, her path is her path.
Mm-hmm.
You get it? It ain't got shit to do with you, nigga. So once I figured that out, I started to understand, like, you sitting here judging your mama.
Right, right.
Your mama is the alley-oop, nigga. She threw you the pass.
Right.
If she didn't put you in that school, my nigga, you wouldn't even have this, voracious appetite for knowledge, spiritual knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So you sit here trying to size her up, nigga, you on some bullshit.
Right.
And once I figured that out, that's when I sheathed my sword.
That's right.
Hey, now.
Because I used to destroy niggas. I said, fuck it, let's just go to a church. Just walk into a Bible study. No, I was with this one girl. She was beautiful. She reminded me of Halle Berry.
Oh, Lord, don't say
All
my
right,
weakness,
now.
Lord Jesus.
God, she was gorgeous. And, it was awkward for her because she was Christian.
Mm-hmm.
And she was in, story time or so. She was in the choir. You end of dig.
Mm-hmm.
But she was enamored by me. She was like, this nigga know a gang of shit. I want to bring him to choir rehearsal where we have a Bible study going. Nigga, why am I at the Bible study? Oh, Jesus. I was in there tearing the fools up. And they told her, nigga can't come back.
Hilarious.
Oh, no.
Don't bring him back.
They told her that nigga can't come back.
Well, especially a lot of those places, again, especially Bible study, my experience with Bible study is a lot of people that don't know it teaching it. Even me, I started teaching I started teaching Sunday school when I was 8 years old to the 5-year-olds with my mom. Like, come on, you're a good teacher. I'm like, but I never read this verse before, Mama. That's okay. Just read it to them. Like, this is a bad thing to teach people what you don't already know. This is a terrible thing to teach to a young person.
Yeah, them niggas was mad at me for real.
And there's huge hypocrisies and things that contradict yourself in the Bible that a lot of Christians just aren't prepared to have those kind of conversations.
And
so it'd be hurtful.
You know what's ill though? When I finally figured it out, because that was the beginning of the end of our relationship.
Oh.
Right.
Because they started attacking her.
Right. And talking about you to her, making her feel some kind of way towards the relationship.
That's when the unequally yoked and all of this. And they pushed her into fucking other niggas in the church.
They was like, check out Tommy. He's nice.
Well, no, it was more from the angle of, it was like they shamed her. Like, he's not Christian.
Right.
He's Muslim. That's unequally yoked.
Right.
That's a sin. And I know y'all fornicating.
Man.
You can look at that nigga and tell.
They need to teach that unequally yoked part so much better. That isn't just about spiritual and believing in Jesus. Like, it is so much deeper. They're failing so many people by teaching it just wrong.
So the cold part about it was they pushed her right into the hands of the junior pastor.
Of course, Lord Jesus.
Of course.
Because she's beautiful and she loves Jesus.
He's probably dated half the church.
Ugh.
And he was fucking too.
A lot of people.
Of course.
Right.
So we broke up. She dated him, started fucking him. But while she dating him,
she's still fucking with you.
You underdid.
Right. She's trying to bring it to you. She give you that sneak push.
She wants that fire, that spiritual enlightenment.
First off, you can't unfuck with me.
Right. Right. That's the first thing. Shoot.
This shit was funny.
She wants that higher thinking.
She was just trying to make them think that she was doing some new shit, but she was still on you.
Oh, shit, nigga.
I will say PKs, pastors' kids are the worst. My ex-husband is a PK. This is the worst, man. The worst.
She created a whole facade for them niggas to believe in.
Hilarious. So she can do her.
nigga.
Girl.
And at the time, I still lived with my mom.
Hilarious.
And it was weird. I was living with my mother. I didn't have to, because what was weird was I had a bookstore and I was working for Warner Brothers. I was working for Maverick. I was an A&R guy. But let me see. I was what, 24?
But that was a financial plan you was working.
I didn't want to leave my mother though.
And you love your mama.
I love my mom to death.
That's right.
I was like, nigga, we together. She was like, okay, baby, you the baby.
Aww.
I was like, I got you, mama.
Truth, being the baby's the best.
She was like, now you make sure you bring me some ice cream when you come home.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, cute. After you smash that church, girl.
Got that.
I had my own little space. And what was so beautiful about my space was I had a back door.
Oh.
That part.
Woo. That nigga knocked on that back door every other night.
Mm-mm-mm.
Oh, she was in that thing.
For years.
Oh, dang. She was really in the thing.
She was sprung on the sword.
You under dig,
I mean, I can't say nothing because I be having these same issues in my life.
This Candyland, nigga.
Right. Shoot, I get it. You hit that bottom. She's like, shit, I'll be back.
But I say all of this weird, crazy shit just to say, just trying to live up to our crazy parents will make us do crazy shit.
Yeah.
Shit's wild, man. I've been fucking with crazy for a long time. I remember this one girl I was fucking with. Lord have mercy. I was with the girl for about a year. Beautiful sister. As black as your outfit.
Oh, shit.
Hey.
Chocolate is looking beautiful.
She was onyx, my nigga. Oh, Lord have mercy. Black diamond.
Oh, shit. Not the black diamond.
You know, with the nappy, what's that? The nappy pubic hair? Oh, I loved it.
Oh, taco meat.
That taco meat coochie hair. Oh, I loved it. With that deep pink on the inside. Oh,
shish kebab.
This shit was beautiful.
Oh, my goodness.
But in my mind, I was like, crazy, this motherfucker crazy. You crazy, so you know what crazy look like.
Right.
Something is ajar, my nigga. You need to be aware something ain't right.
Mm-hmm.
So one day I'm at her crib, fucking up. This is during the time I was lying. I didn't have to lie, but I was lying. This crazy land, nigga. I'm at her crib. She's like, look, I'm finna go to the store. I'll be back. I said, all right. She was gone for about an hour.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just at the crib looking at TV, doing whatever. And then I look outside the window because when I'm by myself, I think clear.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about, okay, this nigga crazy. This is a crazy situation. Zoe, you need to get the fuck up out of here, my nigga. This is what I'm saying to myself. It's time. This motherfucker crazy. You done had your fun. Pussy great. Time to go. But that pussy was too great to let go. I needed an exorcism to get me off this pussy.
Right.
So I looked out that window. This nigga and her sister was fighting a nigga.
Hell no. The other nigga.
That's so funny.
The other nigga was coming over.
This shit, no, it was a white boy on a motorcycle.
What?
They was,
makes no sense.
I said, what the fuck?
Oh my goodness.
Cray, my nigga, this crazy land, nigga.
Right, I'm so confused.
And even then, I said, I'm gonna get a little bit more of that pussy for it.
You're so stupid.
You know what?
They chasing and beating up a white dude on a motorcycle. So I'm still like, but that's fire. It's just a white dude. If it was a black dude, maybe you would have changed your mind. But it's just a white dude.
Hilarious.
Oh, shit.
Who that nigga on that horse? On that motorcycle?
Who that nigga up on that nag?
Yeah. Who that nigga?
I can't right now.
Hey, today's topic was wonderful, man. I love everybody for calling in. The phone lines have been lit the whole time. Tiffany was really good.
Yes.
Oh, gracias.
Yeah.
She was really good today. I love Tiffany's wheelhouse of information. This is why I did the show for her.
Gracias.
You know, dig? I love Mimi. She's so laid back, so cool. But you can see the crazy underneath Mimi, and it's just so sexy.
Oh, her crazy is delicious.
Yeah, Mimi's crazy is, it's like cake.
It's succulent.
But the cool is the icing. Ooh, shit. Fuck. Okay. Anyway.
Pecan pie be nutty, be sweet. Nutty, be
Mimi
sweet.
was,
You know what? Hilarious.
Mimi was excellent today.
Yes, she was.
I just want to say I appreciate everybody for chiming in. But, Mimi Williams, thank you for the $50 donation. Netta J, thank you for the $20 donation. Thank you for spreading the knowledge regarding mental health. We appreciate it. We don't have all of the information. We don't have all of the knowledge, but we do know how to have a great conversation about it. And if you're struggling with it, I suggest you go look up some therapy. Are there some resources that they can look for real quick?
The easiest one is NAMI.com, N-A-M-I, National Association of Mental Illness. And they have like a zip code where it will like shoot you to places near you. Otherwise, if you do have an insurance provider, obviously you can always use your network.
Yeah.
But I'm all about using NAMI because they have culturally specific, AKA they'll help you find Black therapists.
Beautiful.
So I'm about that life.
Beautiful, 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 beautiful. I appreciate everybody for chiming in. I thank you guys for taking time out of your day to come and get down with your brother. This is the last show of the week. I'm not doing a Friday show.
Oh, no, Friday. Okay.
Because I got to go support the
Oh, yeah,
young
your
lion.
son.
No,
Come on,
that's
Lion.
right. That's right. And he had a birthday.
Let's
Happy
go, Fresno.
birthday, New.
My
Hey.
nigga turned 21. I love that boy.
That's right.
You know, we praying for a triple-double Saturday.
Yes, come on.
That's right.
You know, so I'm going to be there. I'm going to have his back. You know I do.
Yeah.
But we appreciate everybody. Thank you so much. I'll be back Monday with another heater, Voice of Reason, and Zoe What Show. I think the Zoe What Show, we going in on the cryptocurrency.
Come on now.
We're going to
Do
get into it.
Hilarious.
So I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much. And we'll holla next week. Deuces.
Deuces.